Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Fearless Generations with Terry Sayer and Kelly Fox.
Hello and welcome to Fearless Generations, 12 Steps to Freedom. I am Kelly Fox, and tonight we are starting Step 3, which is connection. And this is introduction night. You know what that means? It means anything goes. And we're going to be talking about all things connection. And I think that December is a perfect month for it because we get connected even more this month. So let me get the show rolling and welcome my beautiful co-host, Terry Sayer. How are you doing today, Terry?
I'm doing great. It's nice. We were gone for the weekend. It's nice to be home and connect with familiar things.
Yeah. We had lovely connection this weekend. And it's fun to be home and back with the kids and my hubs. Mm-hmm. So all kinds of good connection. And today is my now 16-year-old daughter's birthday. So we had some special connection going on today as well.
Happy birthday, Lily.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
So let's get this show on the road and welcome our guest coach tonight, her first time to the show, so we're super excited. So please welcome Erika La Vella.
Hi, Erika.
La Vella.
Bella.
La Vella. Sorry.
Yes. That's okay.
Up. I apologize. Well, we are excited to have you here. And we would love for you to share with the audience, what is it that you get to do and who is it that you get to serve?
Oh, thank you for asking. And I love hearing about your ladies' connection over the weekend, and happy birthday to your daughter. So I'm Erika La Vella. I am a bariatric surgeon, and I'm co-founder of a online nutrition education company called Art of Bariatrics, where we coach and serve those who have had bariatric surgery and who would like to further their journey with more personalized support. Definitely talking along the lines of connection with our bodies, connections with our nervous system, healing those parts of ourselves that feel disconnected from our bodies. And so when I discovered your show and what you ladies were doing, I was really excited to try to get involved.
Yeah, we love having here our audience. Some don't know that both Terry and I have had gastric bypass, and so we were very interested in hearing and having you on the show to, get the perspective of fear around that process, coming up to it, after it, complications, and because we've gone through that. And then wrapping that all up with connection. So I think it's going to be a great show tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Erika, what does connection mean to you?
Connection to me means shared presence. So connection is, it's the, there has to be two or more entities being present together in order to, have connection. And so, in biochemistry terms, that's like a chemical bond, between hydrogen and oxygen. With, humans, it's a connection to yourself and a family member. You're both mothers, so you know what that's like to carry a baby and to connect with a baby and to have that relationship with children or inverse with your mother. But when we're talking about ourselves and our health sovereignty, it's that connection with yourself and that connection with your body. Your body as a separate entity, but your body is a part of you.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I mean, in fearless living, we always start with ourselves, so that is right in alignment with us. We have to connect to ourselves before we can really connect with other people. We have to dive in and check in with ourselves every so often and see, are we in alignment? Are we connected with our values? Are we connected to our spiritual self, our mental self, our physical self? All those different aspects. And are we fully engaged in our life, or are we letting fear keep us back, or something else? So, yeah, I love that you brought it back to connecting to ourselves.
I like the idea of adding the word present. I think I do a little daily minute conversation around the step of the month, and so it's called Terry Talks, and I do it every weekday morning, just a minute long, and talking about connection for this month of December. I like the way you said being present with another entity, and that's where the connection occurs. So, talking about connecting to yourself, I mean, we're very complex beings. We have a spirit, we have a mind, we have a heart, and so we connect emotionally, socially, physically, intellectually, spiritually with ourselves. So that other entity is that part of ourselves that we connect with. And then for me, in my journey, I have a connection to my higher power, which for me is God. And that connection is, really connecting to my alignment with my values and my spiritual part of me, and then connecting to others, just other human beings. Some people have a super connection with nature. Some people have a connection with animals. Just whatever that connection that feeds your soul and helps you to be in alignment with all those parts of yourself. I think that it's interesting that we think of ourselves as a whole entity, but yet we're a combination of so many components and parts that bring us to that whole. And it's connecting with all of those. I was talking with a gal that we've worked together off and on for years, and how important it is to, some areas of my life I'm super connected. And how do I access that management or that navigation of that part of myself to bring it to a part of myself where I'm not as connected? And just, really reflecting on that. I think this month of talking about connection, it gives us an opportunity to really look at those parts that connect to make the whole, the whole person. And how are we connecting with each parts? Yeah, so I like that, being present. Being present with my physical part, being connected with my mental part, being, just looking at it as a total thing. And I think expecting ourselves to be, 100% connected with every part at every moment is a little bit, probably unrealistic. But that desire to connect to our parts and bring our whole being into alignment or in being present. So I like that I just love that word when you said that as a part of connection. Yeah, that resonated with me right away.
I'm glad, Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the like you said, different people connect more strongly with nature. They connect more strongly with the plants that they grow in their home. All of these different, features of our environment are part of the collective whole. And so, your energy can't always be on all of these things, but your ability to transfer that presence from thing to thing around you, or, being to being around you, I think all of these things really create a really wholesome experience in a person's body and a person's nervous system regulation. And so when you're really connected to your sense of self and how your self interacts with the things and the, the others that you're around. There's just a lot of peace in that.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that
absolutely.
I love that inner, that inner peace, or that when you reach that, you reach that connection, at that moment that you are completely connected, and you have that inner peace, or that sense of joy. And I think we can't be there all the time, but when we can get there, it just it resonates in a way that it keeps us going. It keeps us connecting and being present and striving to be more connected in different parts of our lives, so that we can have those moments of that inner peace, that knowing that, we're whole. And, I've lived a long time, and I'm finding that more and more now. I don't know if it comes with experience or it just comes with living life, as long as, I've been here on the planet, and I can get to that connect place of inner peace or joy, and that's lovely.
Mhm. Yeah, and life will present us with, I don't want to say necessarily problems, but we can experience grief, we can experience anger, and we can experience interactions with other people who aren't as regulated or as aligned as maybe we want to reflect. But once a person can establish where they feel that wonderful sense of connection and that alignment and that peacefulness, it just gets easier and easier to come back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love all of that. I think that the more we can be, connected with ourselves and be honest with ourselves and love ourselves, the more open we are going to be to expanding our comfort zone. And that is what we are all about, expanding that comfort zone, moving beyond our fear and living a fuller life. And I feel like that is something that you are all about, helping people live a fuller life, moving past those fears that have kept them stuck in the previous one. And so when you're working with your clients or whatever you call them, I would say clients.
Yeah.
When you're working with your clients,
absolutely.
Great. Where does this come up for them, or does this come up for them, a connection piece where they're reconnecting with food, or they're reconnecting with their body, or they're reconnecting with their mindset, or whatever it may be? How do you support them with that?
Yeah, I would say it comes up in every step of the way. I think the other really delightful, empowering piece as a coach, it's different than a patient relationship in like the doctor setting. But in the real coaching space, you can really listen to people with where they're at and meet them where they're at. And, a lot of times people will come to us, expecting a meal plan and nutrition advice, and they want to get more, holistically minded with their food. And, maybe they've regained some weight and some old habits have kind of crept back in, or maybe they're immediately post-op and they didn't feel like they got a lot of good supportive education or time with their individual bariatric program, where their dietitian will give them a calorie goal, but not necessarily explain how different foods nourish you and why. And so in my client coaching agreement, it's all about answering their immediate questions, like with some science, but then backing it up to, well, what is your emotional state right now? What is your mindset right now? What are your limiting, tell me more, basically. And so when you ask somebody to tell me more, a lot of times you can always come back to like an unmet need. There's some unmet need, and because of their previous habits, traumas, life circumstances, it's so easy to disconnect from your body and kind of go right back to the simple pleasures of like what pleasures me now. And so for some people, you know, it's sweets. For some people, it might be alcohol. For some people, it might be, you know, maybe they stop caring for their body. Maybe they stop exercising. And, you know, it's not like what we're doing is, you know, groundbreaking and we're recommending some new fancy supplement or, you know, anything like that. Like this kind of work really requires patience, kindness, that self-love, cultivating self-love. And so I really just try to offer the most supportive, nurturing, like the words that a lot of people just don't often tell themselves enough, which is you are worthy, I am connected to you, you know, and a lot of mirroring, and just really helping people, again, cultivate that sense of connection. It can really come from anywhere. You know, it can be a relationship dynamic that a person might be struggling with. You know, not everyone always has the most supportive partners or family members, or, you know, maybe their own children and their children's eating habits, you know, then kind of trigger them, or maybe they're getting into a new relationship and they're worried what their body's going to look like, or, you know, who's going to love them with extra skin, or, you know, whatever the dynamic might be. But we really try to cultivate a really loving presence with a lot of, you know, sound good, whole food, nutrition advice. And when we get people to connect with nature through food, that's kind of what lights me up. And so I like to, again, inspire people and motivate people to really think about food as expanding their relationship and their connection to nature. You know, where does their food come from? What are the ingredients in it? Where are your vitamins coming from? You know, how are your vitamins made? How, you know, and then coming back to the basics, like we all need to feel safe. And I feel like a lot of times when we're dealing with, you know, weight and, you know, weight-related issues around that, sometimes the doctor's office doesn't always make a person feel safe. And so that's why it's been really nice to sort of expand really this coaching, you know, experience beyond the clinical environment, is because we're all humans doing human work with the same temptations and pleasures and joys, and, you know, really just kind of reestablishing that mindset of, you know, food doesn't have to be scary. We don't have to be restrictive. When we use food as medicine and we really honor our relationship to our bodies and we love ourselves, we are then in a different mindset to then make choices that are in alignment with what nourishes our body and what feels good. And so sometimes that is, you know, going out for ice cream with your children or eating birthday cake on a children's birthday, right? Like, of course, that is pleasurable and joyful and peaceful. And then, you know, what's on the other side of that? And if on the other side of that is a feeling of guilt or a feeling of I can't stop myself, or, you know, who knows? I mean, not everybody gets stuck on the food part. Some people get stuck on the self-love part and, you know, just not moving enough. And so then even on the movement piece, it's like, well, what kind of movement feels good? You know, and where do you feel safe moving? You know, do you feel safe going for a walk out in nature? You know, are you lonely? You know, maybe this is the time to get a puppy that we can walk and take care of and, you know, connect with. So really just connecting with each individual, meeting them where they're at, addressing their questions, but then always diving deeper and coming back to those very basic needs that we all have: safety, relationship, love, connection, you know, food, water. Absolutely.
Yeah. Hydration.
Hydration. Yeah, it's a big one. Yeah. Sometimes bariatric programs focus so much on protein and calories that, you know, people will come to me and, you know, they're drinking protein shakes and, you know, eating chicken breast and, you know, they're all constipated and, you know, it's like, oh. So We meet people where they're at, and we listen to it all, and we take it all in.
So a lot of the people that you coach, you're making that delineation between coaching and being a physician. Are a lot of them people that you have performed the surgery on, or do you just put it out there and there's a variety of people that you do group work with groups or individuals or both?
We do some group, mostly individual. So we have like online courses, meal plans, and a lot of our online coursework is, again, all this information about how do we foster these relationships to ourselves, where does nourishment come from, nourishment outside of, how we traditionally think about nourishment. And then we also do like VIP programs. So in the VIP programs, it's a lot of one-on-one conversations back and forth, and a lot of, highly individualized coaching that way. And our clients, they are not clients that I have operated on. This is really an online environment. My clients come from Australia, my most, Jamaica, Europe. I mean, it's really a worldwide web, so to speak, of support that we're putting out there.
That's great.
Awesome. That's great.
My clinic,
That's great. Yeah,
my clinic patients get a lot of this stuff too.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I feel like or at least I didn't feel like I really had a lot of support from my doctor per se, but a lot of people that I knew had the surgery before me, and so I was able to ask them questions and go to them for things. But there definitely was a lot of fear involved in going and actually getting the surgery. And then I did have a complication afterwards, which caused fear too. But I think that even now, I don't know, I think I'm like 11 years out or something like that, there's still like a disconnect between me and certain foods. And so I think it's that ongoing process. So you were talking about people who that come that have maybe started to gain some more weight and they want to get that under control, or that they've just had the surgery. Do you also work with people who have, had the surgery 15 years ago?
Yes, I would say that's probably the bulk of our clientele is people who have had surgery in, the remote kind of past, and are really just looking for a community of support. Gastric bypass specifically, because you rearrange the GI tract, there's a lot of microbiome disturbances. And so I hope you ladies resonate with some of this, but, learning what that is, pH imbalances, you don't have any stomach acid anymore mixing with your food. And chronically over time, a lot of people can even get pancreatic insufficiency, and they can have, a lot of loose stools. They can get dumping syndrome and reactive low blood sugar. That's called reactive hypoglycemia. And so we really just take our time, assessing what foods do people love. And then, the beauty about it all is, from a gut health perspective, it's not about what you don't eat as much as it is about how many more new plants can you consume, how many different herbs can you consume. The more variety of whole foods you have in your diet typically represents a more healthy gut microbiome environment. And when the gut microbiome is healthy, then you hormonally are healthy. You make most of your serotonin and GABA, which is another neurotransmitter for relaxation and peace. So there is a biochemical component to how our food breaks down, interacts with our microbiome, and then our microbiome can then manufacture these feel-good hormones and neurotransmitters for our brain. So we teach a lot about the gut-brain axis, And how do you improve upon that given the, wonderful weight loss tool that somebody had, but just knowing that there's some side effects to that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that Terry and I need to have a conversation with you about all of this. But we are almost
Happy to
out
help,
of time, ladies. Yeah, we are almost out of time. I thank you so much for being on the show. You've just opened up my eyes to see that there's a lot more that I can know about what's going on in my body and how I can support myself to, be more knowledgeable and eat better to, take care of myself better and love myself better. So I'm definitely interested in continuing the conversation. But we want to give you the opportunity to share your contact information with the audience and anything else that you would like to say.
Yeah, so we're on Instagram and Facebook like the rest of the world. We are Art of Bariatrics. You can direct message us on there on either platform, and we will respond. We also have a website, artofbariatrics.com. And like I said, we offer a variety of, very accessible programs. Go at your own pace, online courses with meal plans. Meal plans can be separate. Our courses have wonderful content. And then you can also work with Bonnie. Bonnie is my registered dietitian and co-founder. You can work with us individually as well through our VIP coaching programs. And, periodically we run sales and deals, and you can join our email list. We're always writing articles. We have a blog on our website, just really sharing and highlighting this information. And yeah, I think that's probably about it for how you can get in touch with me and how you can work with me.
Awesome. I love it. And if you could go into our Facebook group and put a link in there for our listeners so that they can have easy one-click access to you, that would be awesome.
I will definitely do that. Thank you so much for suggesting that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are just down to the wire. So, Terry, is there any last thing that you want to say?
No, I just really appreciate this conversation and the synergy between the three of us. I think it's been revelatory for me, and I just feel like it's been a very worthwhile synergy. So I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Terry. I feel the
connection.
synergy too.
Yeah.
Likewise.
I love the connection we have made. Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much. We want to remind you all that the 12 Steps to Freedom were created by Rhonda Britton, the CEO and founder of the Fearless Living Institute. If you would like to know more about Fearless Living, please go to fearlessliving.org. To find out more about Terry and I, go to fearlessgenerations.org. And you can find out all about our upcoming workshops, our group program, Stepping Towards Freedom, where we delve deeper into these 12 steps and just explore them even more, one step a month at a time. And you can also find out about our fundraiser that we are doing this month for suicide prevention. So go check it all out and get all of that information there. You can also find us on social media under Fearless Generations with an S on the end. We thank you so much for being here with us tonight. And until next week, everybody, be fearless.
Thank you, Erika. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.